appealed to you about the character they offered you for Tron Uprising?
What appealed to me, Paige is such a badass. She's so complex and cool and she's categorized as a villain, though I don't play her as a villain. I think she's just deeply misguided. And I think that that's really interesting because I get to, you just get the sense that there's something going on under her very icy exterior. It's really fun to play. And when I read the material for the audition, I couldn't believe it was an animation. I couldn't believe it. The dialogue was so good. The characters are so good. It's so rich. Like, really? This is an animation?
Well, is Paige sort of just doing her job? She just might be doing it for the wrong person.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like it's misguided. She's very passionate about what she does, and she's very driven. It's just that she's working from the wrong side.
Is she gonna maybe figure that out along the way?
When the idea you had of your character when you were voicing her, and then when you actually saw the final product, was there like some surprises?
I think it's always weird to. She looks way cooler than I sound. So it's like there's definitely that bit of I wonder what it would be like to record to the animation. Do you know what I mean? Like, she was far more sleek and long and lithe than, I don't know, I think it would have been not hugely different, but it would be fun to see what would come of that. It's just another process. It would be another cool way to do it.
In a business that can be a little obsessed with appearances and looks, was it nice to get a job that was solely on the quality of your voice and your acting?
Love that, yes. I love voiceover work. It's another outlet to be creative. And there's just, stuff like this is so interesting. And over the years, I've really, being an actor, you're always in tune with your body, with your voice, right? Because that's just our vessel. However, the voice is like a particular fascination to me, since especially, when you're in the studio with your cans on, it's very different how we sound without this, and then when we put our cans on. So it's so interesting to like manipulate your voice and hear a different quality to it, and so it's nice. Like, I feel like I've grown as far as my voice goes, and I think I'll continue to as I do this, which helps my acting. It's really fun.
How is your approach to a character like Paige different from how you approached Chitara on Thundercats?
They're both very strong, and they both kick ass. But Chitara works or she's part of like the good crew, right? And I think Paige just has a darker streak to her. She's just darker, and I think that the series itself is just, Thundercats is very cartoonish. Tron is not. Tron is this, to me, unlike any animation I've ever seen. It's super futuristic and super slick. The music is like on another level. You know what I mean? So it's really, really unique. Chitara is, more, what's unique? She's like cartoony bad, or like cartoony kick butt, whereas Paige, I play her as I would if it was live action.
Were you a fan of the movies, or did you watch this?
I went say fan per se. I've seen them. Yeah. I'm not a futuristic-y sci-fi. I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
It's just fun to do this.
When you take on a character, do you like taking on a character that has more of a darker side to them, or someone with a
Well, I
with a
think
light?
that it's always interesting to, it's just always interesting to play something that's unlike yourself. And what the interesting part about that is to find the parallels with yourself. Because acting in so many ways is like deep psychology. It's just, on the surface, yeah, we have nothing in common. But underneath the layers, when you figure out why someone is the way they are, that's where you start to see all these parallel lines. And that's what's really interesting. So when you're able to go deep with the work, it's really exciting. You just don't really get to do it that often.
How does it feel to be a year away from Entourage, and what are your hopes for a movie?
I hope there will be a movie. Really, I do. That would be amazing. I miss my boys a lot. I had the time of my life on that show. It was such a beautiful part of my career. Definitely a highlight. So it was really bittersweet when it ended. But we're all doing well and moving on and doing our thing, and we're all in touch, and hopeful for the movie.
Do you hope the movie would open with the wedding?
I don't think it will. In fact, I know it won't. Right.
Did you have like a game plan once the series concluded? Did you have sort of a career, I don't know, a set of goals or a way you wanted to kind of pursue?
Yeah, I did. I mean, what's that saying, God laughs at you when you're making plans, whatever that is. I mean, I think it's important though to kind of, being on a show like Entourage was such a unique and special situation because it was a television show that was not only critically acclaimed, but it was such a part of like pop culture. And for me, for my character, it was really the thing that though I'd worked tons before, that was the thing where people suddenly knew who Emmanuelle was. And the caliber of it all was so good that I was really, really careful. Like, I didn't want to just do whatever fell into my lap next. I wanted to keep it, I always want to keep building. And maybe that means it's going to be a slower build, but I think it was worth it. Like, to me, like, I'm doing The Mentalist right now. I started on the season finale, and I'm doing a couple more episodes next season. And it was like, as the next big pop, I'm really excited about this because it's a character that's totally different from Sloane. A great show. Simon Baker is great. So it's like, in my head, it makes sense. Like, that's a good next thing. So I sort of am just sort of weighing it that way. Just trying not to be desperate about my decisions because we all want to work all the time. But it's not necessarily always the best thing. So